everyone. A very good evening to all of you. So today we are presenting Professor Roshali to all of us to talk about opportunities in data science, the pathways for freshers to professionals. So welcome, Professor Roshali. Over to you now.
Hello, good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Regenesis Masterclass on to opportunities in data science pathways from freshers to professionals. So this is Rushali Sarwan here, your facilitator for this masterclass, and let's just begin with talking about Regenesis integrated leadership and management model, which believes in a holistic approach of developing ourselves with physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual aspect. Having said that, talking about Regenesis graduate attributes, which encourages all of us to think differently, lead consciously, harness diversity, comport yourself professionally, global outlook, and ground decisions in evidence. Having said that, let's just begin with today's masterclass, with first starting with talking about what is data science. I hope all of you must have heard about what is data science, right? This is all everywhere nowadays. And we are all able to see all of our observations that are there, and this digital world, which as we are evolving into with this digital world, we could see that we have data science everywhere. And this makes us think and wonder about that how can we be a part of this field, and how can we contribute ourselves to develop with this evolving technology that's coming up and that's booming nowadays, right? Having said that, what is data science? I hope you all must have heard about it sometime or the other, right? So data science, if I have to define it's basically the intersection of computer science, maths, and statistics, and then the domain knowledge. But then I think most of us or some of us kind of fear with the skills which are required to be in this domain. But then I would say that there's nothing to worry about. When it comes to computer science, it's not that we are going to learn everything that's there, right? We are going to learn what is required for being in this domain of data science, right? So what is data science? It's basically an intersection of computer science, maths and statistics, and domain knowledge. So when it comes to domain knowledge, we are talking about the different industries into which this domain of data science can be applied, right? And you might have heard about artificial intelligence, AI. All of that is the part of data science. And as we say, data science is nothing but the study of data, right? And nowadays, since the technology has evolved, the data is keeping on generating. We have data everywhere. And every observation, you can think about it, every observation that can be recorded is data, right? And hence, we require people who are working in this domain. And the job scope, or I would say the employment scope into this domain is keeping on increasing, because you can imagine that with the evolvement of technology, the data will keep on increasing. Right? We have traditional research, we have software skills, we have machine learning that we will be learning in this domain of, or in this course of data science. Right? So nowadays you can also think about the businesses that are coming up, right? All of that are related to data. Every business is kind of working with data driven decisions, right? Which helps them to evolve and grow in their domain, in their field, in their industry. So drives innovation, efficiency, and decision making. That's what is data science, the foundation of today's digital economy. Right? Having said that, when it comes to maths and statistics, yes, we are going to apply that to to think of how the data can lead us for potential decisions, right? And the computer knowledge will help us automate the process of not doing everything from scratch. Isn't that interesting? Right? And when it comes to domain knowledge, what I mean by domain knowledge is the industry to which data science can be applied. I hope now this is quite interesting that where can we apply data science in action to think about this, right? So you can think of that in the finance domain, the fraud detection, the risk modeling. I can also think of something like when people avail for loans, right? So you can think of there are some people who kind of are defaulters. Some people are able to pay the loan on time. Some are not able to pay them, right? So there are now systems which are kind of capable of detecting the fraud and risk management, right? And this is with the help of data science. So it's not only data science, but then all the technology integrated together will help us to come up with a product that will help us to detect the fraud that can take place. Right? In healthcare, we have predictive diagnostic, we have patient care analytics, we have systems which can detect that is a patient is diagnosed with diabetes or not. We have systems that can detect whether a patient is having a what kind of cancer, or the systems that can detect the x-rays and or the images that can be scanned, like the CT scan and so on, right? So all of these images can be analyzed and diagnosed with the help of a system, and that's where data science is coming into picture. There's something called as deep learning that can help us to do this kind of task, wherein image recognition, image detection can happen, right? And that is what can help us to diagnose the disease that a particular patient is suffering from, right? And you can imagine, why are we learning all of this? So that we can reduce the human work, right? With the minimal human intervention, we want to come up with the product that will help us to save our time as well as efforts in order to solve all of these problems that we see around us, right? So you can think of like your own project, your own idea, your own ideation, and take up to a product that will help us to come up with a business, right? Also, if you are in a company, that will help you to work with the data related jobs, right? So e-commerce over here is basically wherein we do online shopping, right? So here we have something like recommendation engines and personalizations that can help us to personalize our cart, our choices, and help us to reach to the products that we require at faster pace, and and we also reduce the time of searching for something, right? So when it comes to e-commerce, you can think about like when we are onto, let's say, Amazon. There are some notifications that comes to our phone or onto our laptops if you have logged in into it, right? So you could see that how do we get those notifications? Have you ever thought about it? Have you observed it? Right? So those notifications are nothing but the app or the e-commerce websites are kind of involved into data science. They use something called as they track our data, that what are our choices, at what time what do we require, and so on. They track how do we shop, or what are we searching for, right? And they track our data, they personalize their algorithms in such a way that we get the notifications in that manner, at that particular time, and the notifications you might have observed it, they're customized. And thinking about the recommendation system, apart from e-commerce, you can also see that it's also there in YouTube, Netflix, right? The social media that we have. So everywhere around us, we have data science, and that's why we are here to discuss about what are the opportunities which are there in this domain that will help us to contribute our bit to this, and have a potential career in this domain. Right? Having said that, when it comes to technology, AI driven solutions and automation is the key. Right? So you can think about it, that what are the different AI driven solutions that we have, that are there in our surroundings, that we see, that we use in our day-to-day life. Right? So apart from the self-driving cars that we think about, that we hear about, there are various things that we use and in our day-to-day action. Our mobile, our laptops are the biggest examples. When in every app, every any other thing, any small thing that you're searching for is all there incorporated into it. Right? Even the traffic signals, even everywhere around the world, everyone is kind of evolving with data science, and data science is in action everywhere. So we can think about, we can say that data science is everywhere. Right? When it comes to data analysis, when it comes to predicting something, whether it's sports analytics or anything, right? So it can be applied to every domain. You think of an industry and you can think of a way to apply data science over there, right? So what are the career opportunities that are available in this domain? Right? So let's just talk about them. So the career opportunities that we have in this domain for freshers, that are the entry level roles, are data analyst, junior data scientist, and so on. To begin with, you can move ahead with this entry level roles. And when it comes to data analyst, there are different skills which are required to in order to learn and work in this domain. Right? What are the tools? What are the skills which are required to become a data analyst or a data scientist? So for now, I'm just indicating some of the skills like SQL, Python, some of data cleaning, visualization, or reporting. Right? So you might have think about, like, how do we analyze our data? Don't think about any other tool, but you can analyze your data using Excel. That's what's a tool that we all are aware of. Right? Nowadays, there are so more new tools like coming up to work with data analysis, and they are designed in such a way that we don't have to spend much time in working in it. Also, the way in which we analyze the data is 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 incorporated in such a way that it will help us to reach to the decisions which are required for us to grow in our domain, or for us to help the organization to analyze the data. And what are the tools? You might be aware of Power BI. You might be aware of Tableau. Right? All of these tools again comes under the skills which are required for being a data analyst. We're going to talk about this in greater detail as we move ahead. Right? Having said that, what are the career opportunities or growth which are available for the professionals? So the advanced roles that we have for the career growth for the professionals is the advanced roles which are available for professionals are ML engineer, data architect, AI researcher, and so on, which actually focus on working scalable ML models, big data infrastructure and innovation. So when it comes to the professionals, they are actually going to work with something called as machine learning. And what is machine learning? Machine learning is anything that's actually used for predicting something from with the help of the past data. So what you do over there is you learn from the machine is actually learning from the past experience to predict something for the future, right? So that's where the machine learning is, and I would say that AI is the bigger umbrella under which we have something called as the, machine learning, and the subset of machine learning is deep learning. So you would get to know about more details um, as you enroll and as you go ahead with learning the the the, the core concepts of them, right? Having said that, do you have any doubts so far? Any questions?
Yeah, I don't see any questions in the chat as of now.
Okay, thank you for letting me know. Yes, so as we say that when it comes to professionals, right? So machine learning engineer, data architect. We also have something called as data engineer, and so on. So all of these roles which are there for the professionals are actually there for which will lead us to innovation, right? You have to think in a way that how this data can be wisely. How can we how can we use this data in order to come up with a product that will be helpful for all of us, right? So you have to think about this, and it would depend on it would largely depend on the domain knowledge, the industrial knowledge that we have, right? So that also makes a key, as you remember that the domain knowledge or the industrial knowledge is a key again to move ahead with the opportunities which are available in data science, right? Having said that, the essential skills and tools which are required are for being a data scientist is like you have to have programming wherein Python or SQL is involved, machine learning and statistics. For visualization, you need to have a Power BI and Tableau. Big data and cloud. In order to learn this, you will require Hadoop, Spark, AWS, CGP, GCP, and Azure. So I know there's that for some of you these might be some big names, but then all of these are automated tools. We just have to learn that how do we use these tools in order to perform a particular task, right? So the practice will make you pro in them, and understanding the data is the key. So if you have these two skills with you, you're very well good to go ahead in this domain of data science and explore it, right? And it would be quite interesting to work in this domain wherein you could see that how can we help the organizations or the businesses to grow with the help of data, right? So let me just highlight onto that what are the core differences between data analyst and data scientist. So we are now aware of like some of the skills which are required in this domain, right? But then what are the major differences between these two? Let's just talk about it, right? So when it comes to the core focus, interpreting and visualizing the data is the key for data analyst. For data scientists, as we say that they majorly work on machine learning, when in predictive analytics is involved. Talking about programming, you require Excel, SQL, basic Python, or R. For data scientists, we have Python, R. So even if you have Python, you're good to go ahead with it, right? But then R is also one of the statistical programming languages that is required for when it comes to data scientists. And Java and Scala are kind of optional. So it depends on in which company are you working into. And also so when it comes to data scientist or data analyst, I would also like you to think of that all the companies, the big companies that we talked about, like Google, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, or any other company that you name, all of them are working in this, right? Or Netflix or YouTube, as we said, they have recommendation systems which are built with the concepts that are there in data science, and wherein data scientist or the processes that we are going to learn in data analysis kind of plays a key role, right? So when it comes to programming, it's SQL, Excel, Basic, Python or R, Python, R, Java, and Scala. Statistics and mathematics, we have basic stats, descriptive analysis, right? Advanced statistics, algebra, and ML theory for data scientists. So you need to understand that how does the predictive models work. But then when it comes to the practical implementation of the same, you could see that it's just 3 or 4 lines of codes, right? So the coding is not that difficult. It's the key is to the crux is to understand the theory, right? Handling the data. For data handling, we have data cleaning and query. Big data, over here for a data scientist, we have big data to handle the data, Hadoop, Spark, or feature engineering that we're going to use. For visualization, we have Power BI, Tableau, Excel. For data scientists, you could see we have Matplotlib, Seaborn, Plotly. Again, Plotly is again one of my favorite visualization libraries, which would help you to create interactive charts or graphs using programming languages like Python. Right? Moving ahead, for machine learning and AI, in data analyst, we cannot do much, but then when it comes to data scientist, you can move ahead with full ML stack and deep learning, right? Uh, when it comes to business knowledge, you could see we have high domain focus in data analyst, and for data scientist, we have moderate to high problem solving. When it comes to cloud or big data, data analysis optional, but then for data scientists, it's essential to go ahead with AWS, GCP, Azure, right? What are the deliverables that are there? At the end, what do you present, right, to your client? So if you have a project as a data analyst, what are you going to do? You're going to give in the reports, the dashboards, and how do you present them? Is there something called as storytelling, data storytelling? So what you do is when you have these reports with the help of data that you have generated using these tools like Power BI, Tableau, or Excel, the reports that you have to explain it to the client and explain the requirements that they have, explain them how to, what are the strategies that they can come up with, what is the data talking about, what are the trends available in the data, is there any growth in the business, what can be the futuristic approach that could be going ahead, right? So all of these points can be included in the data storytelling, right? And when it comes to data scientists, we have predictive models that you can design, that how can you predict that is it going to rain today, or maybe who is going to win today's cricket match, and so on, right? So predictive models are there, or is a patient diagnosed with diabetes or not, right? So all of these predictive models, like you're just going to give in the details, like if you're talking about the diabetic patient, you can give in the details like the symptoms of the person, and you can get the prediction that whether the person is diagnosed with with diabetes or cancer, or whatever it is, right? So you can give a predictive model over there, and you can get an analysis out of it, right? So basically, you come up with AI solutions. So it's not that every time you enroll as a data scientist, you're going to do everything from scratch. It's like there is something that's built up. You're going to get a training on it, and then you can try to modify those algorithms. And if required, there can be a stage as you grow in your field, in your career, in your um, position in this field. uh, as data scientist, you would be further moved ahead with the position to create new algorithms, right? So yes, that can be done here. Talking about the career paths, you have BI roles, that's business intelligence roles. So you can work as a Power BI developer, you can work as data analyst, you can work as um, uh, BI intelligent, and so on, right? So there's so many roles which are available in the domain of data analyst, and also it can be an entry level to move to data scientist. Further moving ahead, you have ML engineer, AI researcher, data big data analyst, and data scientist. There are so many positions which are again available in the when we talk about data scientist. Any doubts so far, anyone?
Yeah, so still nothing in the chat. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Having said that, what are the emerging trends that we can see with respect to data science, right? So you can see that AI and big data integration in business, right? Both of them are getting integrated in order to come up with businesses or new innovations, right? So when we say big data is something like you can think about World Wide Web, our internet that we use. That's big data, right? You search for anything and you can just get about the results about it in just a couple of seconds, not even seconds, milliseconds, right? So that's big data, right? And what do people do is like Google has created a search engine, correct? So they have come up with a solution wherein the research becomes easier. We have chat gpt, we have so many models that are coming in, right? And when AI is integrated with it, you have so many businesses that can be developed using it, right? Nowadays, even in music, even in um, any domain that you talk about can be sold or have potential solutions that can be created using AI, right? So even the music generation, generation of music or generating images, text, videos, all of that can be done with the help of AI and big data together. Right? So what is AI? AI, as we talked about, like it's artificial intelligence. You're giving the machine an intelligence to act without the human intervention or minimal human intervention, right? The ethical data use or governance. So, how can we ethically use data, right, and come up with policies that will help us to 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 grow in this domain, right? And be in such a way that the data is not being misused, right? So you have to come up with solutions that are ethical, right? And also you can think of data security is quite a key concern that can raise when it comes to working with data and AI, right? But then there are solutions that will help us to come up with ethical data usage and governance. Talking about automation and generative AI shaping the future. So all of us know that the automation is kind of getting developed with the help of AI, data science, and big data, and all the technology that's coming up. The generative AI is an add-on to it, and it's shaping our future. So you can think about solutions that are coming up nowadays, right? Like Chat GPT, we have Copilot, we have so many things that are there, which can help us to reduce our day to day work, and reduce the time required to perform the day to day work, whether it's in office or whether you're doing your research, right? Generative AI can also help you to come up with solutions like if you want to convert an image to text or a text to image, right? Or if you are looking for something that's the system that the system helps you to generate it, right? Maybe if you want to create a create an app that will help you to create your own shopping cart, so that can be done using AI, right? Also, you can think of YouTube, right? When you search for any video, right, you get some recommendations. How does those how is that recommendation system created? How is that automated? Right. So think about it. Like every mobile that we use is having an ML algorithm over there, which is customized with respect to the pattern of yours. That what is the usage of your mobile, the apps that you have in there. So everything is being tracked. Right. So data driven decision making is becoming the norm. Right. So every business, every industry, every domain that we talk about is using data driven decision making. Right. Even the supply chain analytics, the logistics that we have, talking about healthcare, media, social media, everyone out there is using data for coming up with efficient solutions for the problems, right? And growing their businesses. Having said that, when it comes to global data science job trends, you could see that jobs are projected to grow 36%, 9x faster than average, right? And when it comes to the trend in South Africa, the data analytics market size from 2017 to 2013 has raised from 18 like in 2023 it was 831.7 dollars, and it is projected to grow up to $2,758.9 in 2013. So this is according uh, to a research from Grandview, right? So the global market is also increasing, and we do have so many jobs and growth which are available in this domain of data science, right? So what is this the market for South African data analytics? You could see that it's going to progress, as we said, 9x faster, right? So year by year, the demand for being in this domain is keeping on increasing. So what is the in you could see that according to the US market, 1 billion in 2024 up till 2.76 billion in 2030, right? AI slash data job postings surge 182% in 5 years. Roles that have increased demands are data scientists, analysts, engineers, and so on. And you can imagine, since the data in every field is going to keep on increasing, these demands are again going to get increased, right? AI market CAGR 26%, reaching from USD 4.2 billions by 2031. So these are the projections that are being made, right? And that's where we have to think of that how can we survive in this domain by learning all of these skills which are required to sustain over here. And this market is going to keep on increasing, right? So what are the salary trends that we have? So data analyst, data scientist, all of them have a career which is high paying, right? So you have the top paying cities are Sandton, Johannesburg, Cape Town, and so on. And as you grow in this domain, the salary will keep on increasing, right? And this is for the trend that we have for data scientist and data analyst. So right from the average data analyst, you can see it's 20 ZARs. So it's in ZARs, right? So you can think about it like how it increases as you increase in your domain, right? So for data scientist as well as data analyst. But what are the challenges that can come ahead with this, right? In this domain. So it's data privacy and ethics, the skills or gap in the industry, rapidly evolving tools and technologies. So when it comes to working in any IT positions, not as data analyst or data scientist, any IT position you're targeting onto, or if you're working onto, you have to keep on upgrading yourself as per the evolving tools and technology. Right? So as the technology keeps on evolving, you will have to upgrade yourself in order to sustain in this field, right? And that's what I think is kind of required to make ourselves grow in or to progress ourselves in this domain, right? So any questions?
Yeah, still no questions in the chat.
Okay. A closing note for now then, data science is not just a career, it's a journey of continuous learning and impact. So thank you for joining everyone. Stay connected. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ms. Roshali, for taking up this session for everyone. And thank you so much, everyone, for showing up. If you have any questions, you can put it in the chat. So we wait for another minute for any questions if you have. Okay, so it seems, yeah, so everyone is doing fine. There are no further questions. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much, Mr. Shali, for taking out the time. And thank you, everyone. See you all again in the next masterclass ahead. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful evening ahead.
Thank you.